Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into how a niche noodle brand carved out a massive empire by literally inventing an entirely new food category. We're talking about Ching's secret. If you've ever wondered how a brand manages to not just survive, but absolutely thrive in a market dominated by massive legacy players, well, you're in the right place. We're going to break down the exact marketing blueprint that allowed Ching's to completely disrupt the instant noodle landscape in India. Here is our roadmap for today. We'll cover the Desi Chinese blueprint, finding the right audience, mastering the marketing mix, our David vs. Noodle Giants competitive analysis, and finally, the recipe for tomorrow. All right, let's jump right into Section 1, the Desi Chinese blueprint, creating a category. So think back to 1996. Under Capital Foods, Ching's didn't just launch another noodle product. They engineered a brilliant blue ocean strategy. They actually invented Desi Chinese. This was a pioneering food concept that adapted authentic Chinese-inspired flavors to Indian tastes using familiar Indian spices. Instead of just making another standard instant noodle and fighting this huge uphill battle against established giants, they completely bypassed the traditional competition. They created a flavor profile that consumers didn't even realize they were craving until it literally hit the shelves. And their iconic tagline, "I love Desi Chinese," well, it isn't just a catchy slogan. It's a full-on lifestyle declaration. By getting consumers to adopt this phrase, Ching's reinforced itself as India's #1 brand in this exciting flavor pack category that they themselves created. It's a genius move, really, because it tells you exactly what you're getting, something culturally familiar yet distinctly different. It gives you the comfort of local spices mixed with the thrill of eating out. Moving right along to Section 2, finding the right audience, who eats Desi Chinese? Instead of trying to appeal to absolutely everyone, they hyper-focus their aim. Think about the college student pulling an all-nighter, or the young working professional with zero time to cook, or even a family craving a quick, fun weekend treat. By targeting middle and upper-middle-class consumers in urban and semi-urban hubs, they zeroed in on exactly who had the palate and the wallet for quick, fiery Indo-Chinese meals. They knew exactly who their most hungry customers were going to be, and they tailored everything directly to them. Okay, Section 3, mastering the marketing mix, the 4 Ps. Now, while standard noodles like Maggi offer a mild, comforting snack, the kind your mom makes for you when you're sick, Ching's positioned itself as the rebel. They promised restaurant-inspired, bold, fiery flavors. They aren't just selling a basic snack. They're selling an accessible culinary thrill ride. And while they price themselves competitively alongside the big brands, with both single-serve and family packs, the core promise is a premium flavor experience that remains completely affordable for the mass market. Their product strategy is honestly a masterclass in cross-selling. They offer fast, non-sticky, 100% vegetarian noodles in very specific profiles like Szechuan, hot garlic, Manchurian, Singapore curry, and Hakka. But the real genius? They cross-sell these with their own proprietary sauces, chutneys, and masalas. So you aren't just buying a single pack of noodles, you're kind of accidentally restocking your entire pantry with the whole Ching's ecosystem. Of course, the best noodles in the world will fail if they aren't within arm's reach. So Ching's built a formidable omni-channel network. Whether you're at a local Kirana store, browsing a quick commerce app at 2 a.m., or grabbing a bite at a hotel, Ching's is there. And today, with the massive logistical muscle of Tata Consumer Products behind them, their distribution is virtually an unstoppable freight train. To match those bold flavors, they absolutely needed bold promotions. Enter Bollywood powerhouse Ranveer Singh as the high-octane superhero Captain Ching. It was loud, it was hilarious, and it was brilliantly memorable. Combined with heavy YouTube recipe integrations, interactive user-generated contests, and some really smart influencer campaigns, Ching's wasn't just marketing a product anymore. They were cultivating a high-energy youth movement. Let's look at the broader landscape in Section 4, David vs. Noodle Giants, the competitive battlefield. This is a battlefield totally dominated by titans. We're talking Maggi, Sunfeast Yippee, Top Ramen, YY, and Knorr. To survive in the shadow of these massive, entrenched giants, Ching's just couldn't play a traditional game. They survived and thrived by out-innovating the big players, expanding deep into the sauces and chutneys that the traditional giants completely ignored. Strategically speaking, their brand identity in that Tata Distribution Support Act like a fortress. However, they're still fighting a bit of an uphill battle for overall market share, especially in rural areas where those super spicy flavor profiles might just be too intense for some folks. And while the quick commerce boom offers a massive opportunity for growth, they are actively defending their territory against highly price-sensitive buyers, a growing wave of health consciousness, and of course, the massive, trendy wave of Japanese and Korean instant noodles currently flooding the Indian market. Finally, let's wrap things up with Section 5, the recipe for tomorrow, future strategies. So it's the multi-million-dollar question, right? With such a fiercely competitive instant noodle market and new international threats hitting the shelves pretty much daily, how exactly does Ching's secret maintain its crown and keep consumers hungry for more? To secure their future, they've got to pivot with the consumer. That means countering those health trends by launching whole wheat, millet, or even high-protein options. It also means keeping the menu exciting with limited edition regional Indian flavors and adopting sustainable, recyclable packaging for the eco-conscious buyer. Lastly, maintaining their cultural edge requires continuous, heavy collaboration with the internet's top digital food creators, all while constantly strengthening that omni-channel retail presence. Ultimately, backed by the distribution might of Tata Consumer Products and a brilliantly executed Desi Chinese positioning, Ching's secret is an absolute masterclass in modern marketing. They prove that when you can't beat the giants in their own arena, you simply build your own. And that leaves us with a pretty fascinating thought to end on. If you were trying to break into a totally saturated market today, what completely new category would you invent to make your competitors totally irrelevant? Think about that for a second. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer.